what's up, Josh? I think your microphone's off. I'm not sure if you have.
Hey, buddy.
There we go. There he is. What the fuck is going on?
Not too much.
The
Not too
final
much.
word.
Just looking forward to talking to you and hanging out, man.
Fucking right. I'm glad we're doing this. Yeah. Fucking. We saw each other last week. That was great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was good because it's been a couple of years.
it had been 3 years.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, 3 years. And I don't think I'm going to be back very soon because my dad's surgery went well, so he's not dying anytime
Hey,
soon. So
that's good.
yeah, dude, he's in recovery. He got his bladder removed,
Yep.
so now he has an external bladder, and it looks like his bowel is fine. So he kept his bowel,
Yep.
and he looks like he's going to be fucking doing
Yeah,
just
external
fine.
bladder, well, it's not the end. It's not great. It's way better than external bowel because,
Yeah, way better, way better.
yeah, I know somebody with an external bladder and really, like, you
I know
have
him
no
too.
idea.
I know who you're talking about. I
Yeah,
think.
you have no idea, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the guys that we're talking about lived in the apartment building, right? We won't say any names, but he lived in the apartment building.
yeah.
Yeah, and he did just fine with it. And the thing is, man, like fuck, my dad's gonna be able to travel. He's gonna be able to fucking begin a big size bag and just drive all the way to BC in one fucking go. You know,
Nice. Yeah,
so
man.
I was talking to him the other day, and where he's already talking about like getting a motorhome and driving from Cape Breton to BC every year. Come to BC to the island for the winter, so there's less snow. Go back out to the
Yeah.
summer to Cape Breton. Stop in Ontario. Stop in Alberta. They're just gonna be like friggin' wanderers, dude. It's the
Yeah,
best.
that's the way to do. That's the way to do retirement for sure.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. So I saw you a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago, and you told me some news. You wanted
yeah,
to talk about why we're doing this and what we're doing. So
yeah, for
why don't
sure.
you
So
why don't you go ahead?
I'm in bed now, and it's long story short, it's because my heart's getting weaker, and it's getting to the point now where I'm not gonna talk about like doomsday or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna predict how long I have, but like I would say like as any like older person maybe would say, right? Say somebody in their 70s, they don't know if they're gonna live, 3 years, 8 years, 12 years. Like I'm getting to the point where like I know that I'm not gonna be around for a lot more time, right? So I'm not gonna say it's 3 or 5 or 7 or whatever, but I'm getting to the point where like I know I'm coming up to like to the point in my life where it's not for I'm not going to be here forever, right? And it's
Right.
not doom and gloom or anything like that. I'm still like even
Your
though
heart's
I'm
still your
in
heart's
bed,
still working.
it's still working. It's just getting weaker, right? So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
and the
Of
thing
course,
is, dude, I thought about that, and your progression of Duchenne's has been very slow in comparison to some people.
yeah, for sure.
So I think
Def-
that your heart failure is going to go slow too.
yeah,
That's my
I
that's
hope
my
so.
theory. That's my theory.
I hope so. I mean, I've always done like pretty good, and to me, it's not always just a matter of physically what's happening or chemically what's happening in my body, but it's my outlook on life, my positivity, my desire to continue to do as much as I can, even though I'm stuck in bed now 24
You're
7. I
probably
still
doing
have,
as much, if not more, than you were doing before
yeah, than I
this.
was a few years ago for sure. And I'm enjoying. I still enjoy life, and that's like as soon as you stop enjoying life, that's when things
Totally.
go downhill, right?
Hmm.
Like people who don't have the will to live don't live, quite frankly,
Well,
right?
and
So
you got some extra hours in the day because when was the last time that you didn't have a 2.5, 3? I used to do it in 2 hours, but 2.5, 3 hour morning routine and an hour night routine. Like how long has it
yeah,
been since that? That's a lot of hours in the day that you didn't have before.
yeah. So I got a lot of hours, and because I don't need to do like especially lately, the last few years, my morning routine was closer to like 3 hours and things like that. So I've broken up my assistants throughout the day so that like people are here for 2 hours at a time, and I'm only ever like alone for 2 hours. And
Right.
most of the time, like I got somebody who's like available on call. Like today, like um just about an hour and a half ago, I texted a neighbor. I'm like, listen, sweating my ass off. Can you come over and pull down a blanket for me? And yeah,
Right.
my neighbor just came over and
That's sweet.
pulled down the blanket, helped me with a drink and stuff like that. So I've
Yeah.
got things really set up well that, like, people are here a lot, and even when they're not here, I have people that I can call on for like little odds and ends and little things, and
Right.
I'm pretty good.
How many years has it been now that you've been fully independent funded? Four,
Uh,
five,
so
five.
mm, 20, almost 7.
Almost 7 years.
Yeah, dude, it was the end of 2015,
Okay.
and now it's 22, so 6.5 years.
And that's right when I started working for you privately.
Yeah, about that. Yeah,
Was I one of the
yeah,
first?
yeah. Because I got sick in 2015 at the
Yeah.
beginning, and I had already been approved for direct funding, self management,
Right.
and um, when I got sick, I got the trach, and I
Yeah.
was like, well, do I really want to leave the comfort of 24-hour assisted living to, manage my own care? Yes, I'm going to have a lot more freedom, um, a lot more control over, the daily, who I got coming, who's helping, what I'm doing during the day. But then the drawback is, right, like I didn't always have somebody here, but
Right.
I've done a really good job of making sure I always have somebody close by. And the thing is, the agency that was assisting me back in 2015, they of course promised that they'd have people trained on me on how to provide me essentially my life saving care, and they said they'd always have somebody on staff that would be able to assist me. So essentially, sometimes I need help. You know this, when I need help clearing phlegm out of my lungs, right? I can't do it on my own. That's why I don't get it clear. I can aspirate. Well, there would be times where I would call over to the main office, and we're all just in the same housing complex of me, a bunch of other disabled people, and the the support worker. So I'd call over and I'd be like, "Listen, I need help with clearing my lungs," and they'd be like, "Sorry, Josh, it's I know it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but the next time somebody's in that knows how to do it is 6:30."
Oh my God.
So what
That's
am I
life.
supposed to
That's
do?
life or
Just
death.
sit there
Choke you to
struggling to
death.
breathe? Yeah,
Yeah.
for 4 hours? Like, no
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
I,
You know what,
I,
man? What do you think of ILC now? Like, you know what? I actually
well,
kind of enjoyed working there. Like I didn't mind it.
yeah, no, it's horrible now. I talk to some people who pretty much every time they talk about it, they're brought to tears because they've gone from showering 4 days a week to 1 day a week. They've been
Right.
gone from having 90 minutes for their supper to 40 minutes for their supper. So,
Right.
how are you supposed to have a supper
And
in
cook it.
40 minutes? They can't make it and assist you with eating in 45 minutes.
No, definitely
Like,
not.
it's just not possible.
Not unless you're eating fucking microwave garbage. Who wants to
Yeah,
put up
and
with
that's what
that?
they have to eat now.
And
Or
that's like the
or, or they
subsidized
have to
grill,
get,
man.
yeah, they have to get friends.
Right.
I know somebody, they're getting friends to bring over freezer meals so that they can actually eat 3 healthy meals a day.
Right.
Otherwise, they're not, because they
Right.
got to eat like Michelinas or whatever, right? And that's obviously garbage, right?
Hmm.
So their friends are bringing them over like freezer meals that they can take out in the morning
Right.
and eat throughout the day. And like, but if you don't have friend support, you don't have family support with ILC. Like, I worry for their safety and well being.
Hmm.
I really do, because it's so bad.
Right. Now, do you think? What do you think? I'm getting a bit of an echo. Did you hear that? Or do you guys sound fine to
Maybe,
you?
well, it could be because my volume's a bit loud. Usually,
Okay.
because my TV is like 10, 12 feet away from me, I'm
Right.
just going to turn it. I'll turn it down a little bit, and you tell me if that's good.
Oh, it's coming out of the TV. That's already better.
Yeah.
That's already better. Way better, way better. So what I was going to ask now, I'm just trying to see things from both ends because I've been a support worker. I've been in the juice.
Yeah.
I've been in the trenches. I've been in the gears. running around like a maniac, trying to do very, very
Yeah,
personal things for people all day. Do you think that it's a staffing crisis that they're going through, or a management crisis? Both.
both. Yeah,
Both.
it's a management crisis that's brought on a staffing crisis
Should we throw people under the
because
bus on this show?
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Why not? Fucking, I don't work there anymore. I live across the goddamn country.
Yeah, I
Is there
don't care.
anybody that you want to call out and say like, fuck, man, you really gotta do a
Yeah,
better job
they're
of taking care of people?
the former executive director. His name was Phil. Like he's a piece of shit human being. I know him to be an adulterer as well as just a terrible person in general. Like he essentially got fired from like the first executive director I think ever to get fired from
So,
IOC.
so board of directors group
Yeah,
together and make that decision with them amongst themselves.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So and pretty much I think all consumers have been kicked out of like board of directors, consumers or clients. Like most people, most agencies call the people they assist clients, but
Right.
IOC calls it consumers, so people know what we're talking about. So the
My problem is
consumers,
that I call them all buddies. That was my
yeah,
problem.
there
That's
you
where I
go.
fucked up.
No, it's a good thing. So the
Yeah.
consumers used to be involved in the board of directors. They used to be involved in committees and things like that. They used to be involved in hiring practices. None of that exists anymore. So the people with disabilities who they purport to help, they don't listen to. They
Right.
just don't listen to them.
You're not
And
even given the chance to talk.
no, no. And the people that they hire are so bad that like you know, sometimes people, Jesus, it's not about fucking race. It's about can you speak English? And
Right.
most of them can't speak English. Like,
Right.
like
That's the problem.
literally, somebody was eating something, and uh, the PSW came in and said, "No, no, that's not healthy," and opened up a can of dog food
What?
because they didn't know it was dog food. Like the dog
Oh
food,
my
yeah, it was a
god.
can of dog food, but it looked like beef stew. But it said dog food on the can.
But she couldn't
But
read
because they
English.
can't read, speak
Why do you think it's
any English,
why do you think it's so enticing for immigrants to apply for that job? Like it should, why
well,
aren't
because like I think the immigrants that can't speak any English, they're applying left, right, and center. And ILC is so desperate that they choose to hire the
right,
wrong people instead of the right people.
right, and I
And
don't I
what
don't
it
know.
does, it puts a strain on the actual good staff that they have, and the actual good staff that they have get burnt out and
Mhm.
quit.
Right, that's kind of what happened to me.
Yeah, because dude, I know this happened to you because say you got 4 or 5 staff working, right? And 3 of them are terrible and 2 of them are good. All the consumers want the 2 good ones. They
Of
call them up and
course.
they're like, don't send me idiot this person.
Yeah,
Send me Brendan. Send me a good person.
yeah,
Don't send
yeah,
me Crystal, who's gonna leave me in my shitty diaper. I don't wear a diaper. Someone else does, but we know that
someone do.
Crystal would leave people in shitty diapers so that they didn't expect good care in the future.
Yeah, it's setting themselves up for laziness in the future.
Yeah,
What kind of screening do you think needs to be done? Like, should there be some kind of
no,
like
there's no screening.
intelligence screening? But do you think there
No,
should
there's
be?
no screening.
But do you think there should be?
Oh, there should be. Like you should be able to speak English. Like
Okay.
this job is understanding communication because ILC is still technically consumer directed. So it's
Right.
the consumers telling the staff what they want and how they want it done. But if they can't understand English to the point that they take away their bowl of chips because that's not healthy, like fuck you, it's a snack. I can do what I
It's your
want.
fucking choice. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a snack. I can do what I want. And then they open up a can of dog food.
By mistake, maybe on
Yeah,
purpose. I
no,
think.
they just couldn't speak English. They had
Right.
no idea it was dog food.
Right.
They're like, no, this is stew. This is stew.
Right.
Stew, stew, stew. You eat it. You eat it.
Oh my God! It's amazing how people's perceptions of people with profound physical disabilities they still think that they can make decisions for you. Like what the fuck are
Yeah.
people? What is
Yeah.
wrong with people that they assume they can decide something for someone who is fully capable of making a decision? It just boils my blood, man. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons I burnt out on ILC because I found like we know I won't mention any names, but some of the girls that we became close with, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like the girls that we hung out with and whatever became friends with. Those two girls in specific were just brutal. They
Oh,
had
we're
the
talking
worst
about,
attitude.
dude, you should use their names.
We're talking about fucking. I forget fucking the other one's name. Um, I forget your ex's name too. I forget her name.
Oh,
I can't think
really?
of her name right. I can't think of her name right now. That's how much I don't like her.
Josephine.
Josephine, fucking Josephine.
Yeah.
What
And
a psycho.
yeah, let's not talk about the other one because I don't want to negatively affect the dude, right? Because I
Right.
respect the dude to a degree,
Yeah,
and
me too.
you know,
Me too.
so. But yeah,
They still,
like
they're still working together and still hanging out. Those two.
no, 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 no.
Oh,
That ended years ago badly after like he spent thousands of dollars on her.
right. Yeah. Well, that's what they were doing, man. That's what they were
Yeah,
doing. They're fucking leeches. Every
yeah.
single thing
They're
they
just
say is a
users,
lie.
right?
Is a lie. Absolute lie.
Yeah, they're
Using you,
users.
using you. Yeah, use users and abusers, dude. And
Yeah,
I
and they
think
use
that
everybody.
the industry is fucking it's ripe with these people, and I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure out why. It's too easy to get these jobs.
yeah.
Like it's just too easy.
Okay,
But
so
they
with Joe,
need to maybe even just any college diploma. You know, like maybe it doesn't matter what it's in.
yeah,
Just show some dedication to something for at least a
right,
couple years. You know, that
yeah.
would be a good way to do it. Have any kind of diploma. That would be good.
The thing about Josephine and this other woman, they're just users of all people.
Yeah.
They've used men in their life constantly, and
Probably like compulsively.
oh yeah, yeah, of
they're
course,
they're
because
addicted. They're addicted to it.
yeah, well, and up until recently, both were very attractive,
Yeah.
right? So they could get men to,
Do whatever they want.
do what they wanted, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they're crazy, and the statement "crazy in bed" or "crazy in the head, crazy in the bed" is
Yeah,
a hundred
it's
percent true.
100% true. Do you
Yeah,
regret it? Do you regret it?
no, I don't regret it. I don't really regret a lot of things because from everything you do, whether it's positive or negative, you could learn from your experiences. And there were some positives
Yeah.
for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Like the
Lots
sex
of
was
cool shit
good.
happened. Yeah, the sex was good. And I mean,
So,
fuck yeah, fuck yeah,
yeah,
right? If anything, it was worth it for that. Because
hell
let's
yeah.
face it, that's not something that comes along too often when you're in it
No,
with
not for
your
me. I'm not exactly slaying it left, right,
yeah,
and center.
yeah,
Especially now
right,
that, dude, the truth is, I'm in bed for the rest of my life. I'm in my living room for the rest of my life. I ain't
yeah,
gonna be meeting any ladies, so
right, right.
it is
What
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 it
kind
is.
of what kind of advice do you have for disabled dudes on the market for women? What's the best with all you've
Don't be a bit.
experienced?
Don't be a sim. Don't be a bitch. So many disabled dudes, they've been told they have to play the nice guy. They've been told they have to play like, I don't know, just don't put her on a pedestal. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
don't be a simp. Don't put her on a pedestal. You're worthy. Like if she likes you, she likes you. You're worthy
Right,
of
right.
that attention and that love.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's for a reason, right? So like don't like ever think like you're like, oh, I'm so lucky to have you or
Right,
anything
right,
like that.
right.
It's not like charity.
Have a little bit of pride. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's
What
not
do you? What about
charity.
like? Do you find? I never. This is just a thought that crossed my mind now as we're
Yeah.
talking. Do you think it's common for disabled men to be demasculated? And if so, how
Oh,
do you how,
100%.
how do you think a disabled man maintains his masculinity and his dignity?
Just by staying masculine in his like, I don't know, like don't let like women push you around. Masculinity traits of masculinity are like stoic, control of your emotions. You deal with your problems through a logical frame, not emotional. Um, you make a decision, you're decisive, make a decision and you stick with it. These are just simple traits of masculinity that, keep you being the man that you are and people will respect you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always I respected you right from the fucking get go, man. Ever since you booted me out of your fucking house the first time I didn't meet you, the first time I was supposed to meet you, and that was all
Yeah.
ILC. So what
Yeah.
like let's talk. What about like I figure if we're doing these, like let's say we're doing this for the next 4 years and then you croak of a heart attack or heart failure or whatever.
Yeah.
Who are the people? Like I feel like we should be mentioning names. Like, now that we've mentioned names of the naysayers and the no gooders, we should be talking about like your whole life. Some of the people that stood out as
Oh, like good
like
stuff.
yeah, good. I think and good, just good people in your life.
Sure.
As a kid,
Yeah.
why don't we just like randomly talk about good people in your life that have really like made
Yeah.
a big difference?
For sure. Well, oh
Because
my
then,
gosh, as well.
do you have video editing software?
Uh, I I do, but I'm not very good at it.
Well,
Why? What's up?
because I don't know if I'll be editing this because I have so much other shit to edit all the time. But I could. I'll edit it, especially if I can edit this. I can on Monday nights actually. I can probably do it fucking tonight to be honest because
Yeah.
I'm done all my editing last night. So tonight this is what I'll do. So
Okay.
I'll find clips and edit them. And then,
Yeah.
do you want me to upload them to my channel? You can download them from my channel, then upload them to your channel, or you just want me to send them
Sure.
to you, or what?
Yeah. Sure. We're live right now, right? So
Yeah, yeah. So as soon as this is
yeah.
done,
So
maybe
I'm
we'll,
gonna download that too. I'm gonna download the whole file and upload it
yeah,
to my channel. I've got
perfect.
this program that downloads YouTube videos.
Yeah, I use
So
RealPlayer. RealPlayer is
yeah.
great.
So I'm not sure what I use, but it works. It works
Oh,
good.
and just so
And
you
then
know,
yeah.
your camera did freeze just now, but it looks good. You look good.
Okay. Yeah. That's all good because
Yeah,
you can still hear my voice, right?
and I can still see your face. So
Yeah. So we're all good then.
yeah, we're all good.
So yeah, yeah, some clips would be cool. Too. I'm gonna upload them. I could, even if they're short clips, I could upload them to like Instagram and stuff like
Yes,
that.
exactly, exactly. Well, what I was thinking
Yeah.
is I'll send you like between 5 and 10 minute clips, and then you could break them down into shorts for your social media or
Yeah.
whatever, and we can make it. Cause I've been I've been working with Necro a lot lately. I've been buddying up with Necro.
Hmm.
So he introduced me. You know him. I remember you are actually the first person I think that introduced me to this guy, Gary V. You know that guy? He's the guy who always went to like
Maybe.
garage sales and shit, and like resold things on eBay, made an empire for himself, and now he's like a content master. Anyway, this really famous content creator,
Right.
put out this manifesto for content. And basically, what I'm doing with Reaction Radio, what I'm doing with all my podcasts, is exactly it. What I need to branch into. So you go live, you get a big piece of content.
Yeah.
You break that into smaller pieces of content, and then you take those smaller pieces of content and break them up into 60-second shorts, and just fucking
Yeah.
pollute the internet with it, right?
Yeah. That's
That's the way
awesome.
to do it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Uh, I would definitely love to do that. So yeah, oh my gosh, so people in
Yeah,
my life,
that are
um,
good people.
yeah, dude, I don't even know where to begin. So what we were just talking about staff. Maybe I'll just talk about today some staff
Okay.
that were really good, like really positive influence in my life.
Right.
And like you, that goes without saying. Like we've talked about it so much, so maybe I'll just talk about some other
Yeah.
dudes. But okay, so the dude that I've been working with for the better part of 6 years, he literally just moved on a month ago. He worked with me for 6 years. He was my first hire on direct funding that wasn't me stealing someone from independent living. So
Like
Bill
me,
was
like
my
you stole me from ILC. Yeah.
yeah. I stole you. I stole Tim. I stole Nathan, and they still worked at ILC. Some of
Yeah.
them a bit, but
I did a little bit. I had a bit of a crossover. But not
yeah.
too
So Bill. So Bill and I have been through a lot. Bill has worked with me like nearly full time hours for 6 years. We've been through a lot. Like him and I, like I've been to the hospital a few times, and like his shift will have ended 3 hours ago, and he'll still spend all night with me in the hospital to make sure I'm okay. Right? Like just such a good guy. Like
Yeah, he
really
is a sweetheart.
cared about me as a person. Right? Um, so I can't say enough good stuff things about Bill, and we had so much fun together. We had lots of good conversations, like you and I do. Lots of good debates and arguments too, but it was always for the better. Yeah, so Bill probably the number one guy with my direct funding times, and then
Right.
some really good people that were here at in Waterloo was a guy named Tim Stanley, a real good Christian guy who I really
The
respect
best kind
because
of Christian. The best kind of Christian.
yeah, yeah, because
A real
he
Christian. A real
yeah,
Christian.
because he is all 100% God's love, and he is so loving and so genuine and so caring and so selfless. He might be the most selfless human being I know. Tim, if you're watching, buddy, I friggin' love you. I think you're like, dude, you're like one of the reasons I still believe in God because, like, so many other Christians suck and you don't. Like, you are God's love personified, dude. Like,
Yeah, he
you're
is.
such a good dude. You're such
Yeah,
a good dude.
I love him too, man. We're still friends on Facebook, right? He doesn't post that often, but once in a while I see him interacting with one of my pictures. Great
Yeah.
guy. Great guy.
And then a
How's his
couple of
kids?
guys. What's that?
He has kids, right? 2 kids now?
Yeah, he's got two kids. He's living in Orange Sound in a house that he built himself,
Yeah,
loving
that's right.
life.
That's
He's
right.
a licensed electrician now, so
Wow, good for him.
he's not killing himself for nothing doing PSW work
Yeah,
anymore.
okay.
So that's good.
Yeah, he's probably making $40 an hour for God's sakes.
Yeah, he's probably making good money. I don't know for
100 grand a
sure.
year. Yeah,
Yeah, he's probably doing all right.
I'm
So
sure he is.
and then a couple other dudes. Not huge impact, but I wasn't at. I was at the Waterloo site for a couple of years. A guy named Al was really good. Just such
Oh
a
yeah, remember
so
Al?
yeah. So Al was such a professional, such a like a dude. Like the dude was everything like an ILC attendant should be.
Should
He
be
did
like
not,
yeah,
like he did not put his point of view on anything. He just did what was asked of him. Really good guy. Always respected the individual. I remember one time there was a woman's underwear tag in my bed, and he saw it, and he quickly grabbed it, showed it to me, because there was another staff in the room. He quickly showed it to me and put it in the garbage. And like such a like any
yeah.
other
Smart, quick,
so
quick.
many so many other staff
Would have
would
got
have
their
been like
nose. Yeah,
making comments
yeah.
because there was another underwear tag that was okay. We're gonna go back to bad staff. There was
Okay.
another underwear tag, or maybe it was a hoop earring or something that was found in my bed again. And this staff went back to the office and like they couldn't even fathom that I might have a girlfriend. So they told all the staff that I was having sex with hookers.
Oh my fucking god.
So they didn't even confirm the story with me. And then they went and told these lies to other people. Like, first of all, even if I did have hookers here,
It's your fucking
uh,
business.
it done, it's all his business. I'm like, dude, I'm pro sex work. I don't care if
Yeah, you want to be a
people
hooker?
get
Do it.
hookers,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm not shaming that stuff. But they were like, way to
Yeah, they
go.
were. They were.
Yeah,
They
and
were.
they were shaming me, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Fucking
loser.
losers.
So Al was good. Another guy who was pretty good was a guy named Nathan. He was a young dude, and we got along pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, I remember Nathan. We used to alternate morning routines, right?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know him because we always worked on different days.
yeah. So Nathan was a good dude, and a
about
couple other good.
managers? What about like
Uh,
managers? Like, how long? Okay, what is there no
it's been
funding
a long time
available?
since I've dealt with a good manager.
Why don't you take? I'm just confused. Like, when does funding instigate? How long does it last? How much is it when you're 8 years old? How does it progress? Like, do you have to be an adult to go to ILC? Is that I know that
Yeah.
people with mental disabilities they don't get their adult funding till they're 21. It's not 18, it's 21. Is it the same for
So
people with
I was
disabilities?
actually 17. I
Okay.
was 17 when I joined ILC, and
That's you, yeah.
my brother was 16. So yeah, they took consumers on as young as 16 at that point, and
Okay.
yeah, we were the youngest consumers at that time.
That's badass. What do you remember about your brother? Your mic got turned off by a second there. What do you
Yeah, I
remember?
froze it. I I turned it off just a sec to say something to somebody else here.
Oh, I see. I see. There's someone else there. So what are like? Let's talk about your brother. Like, I know. Of course, everyone knows. Well, not everybody, but he died of Duchenne's. You know, like he of
Yeah.
complications from Duchenne. He also had the same disease that you have. But let's talk about like what are the good memories like kid wise? Because he was your younger brother. Like, you know, like how was it like when you guys were both like not in chairs yet, and like how was the progression and like what who
Okay, so I don't remember a lot of my brother not in the chair because he was like 7 when he started using it.
damn
I was closer to 12, right?
right.
So, but
So
my
he was
brother
in a
was a
chair
different.
before you.
Yeah, well before me, like 4 years
Wow.
before,
Wow.
or 5 years before me. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he was 8. I was like 12.
Wow. And how many years older than are you than him?
I'm 1 year older.
Oh, Jesus, that close.
Yeah,
Wow. So you guys are pretty close to Irish twins because your birthday's in January.
yeah. If he would have been born one day earlier, we would have been Irish twins.
Oh, that's so
'Cause
cool. So his
I'm
birthday's
January
January.
7th. He's January 1st.
Wow.
So
Oh
we're
my
less
God.
than a,
One day, less than a day.
yeah, and we would have been Irish twins for sure.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So tell me some like what kind of kid was he? Like what did he?
He was he was a bit like quiet and reclusive,
Okay.
and a bit like almost like you know he was kind of he was kind of secluded a bit, not
Okay.
by anyone,
Was he depressed? Do you think?
but no, I don't think so. But he just wasn't very social. He wasn't very. He didn't understand a lot of how friendships and stuff like that
Do you think maybe
work.
he was
He
like
was
on the
very,
spectrum or something?
yeah, like a little bit like that, something like that. He was very much into his Game Boy and things like that, watching Sailor Moon and Pokemon and things like
Okay.
that. So, like, he had his interest in stuff like that. But we were very different cats. Like he was into a Game Boy, Sailor Moon, stuff like that. Whereas I was into trying to play sports as long
Right.
as I could, watching sports, stuff like that. You know.
Okay. What was the first sport you ever played?
Um, Baseball on my driveway. So
Oh
I
yeah.
would scooch myself. So while I could still stand, I would just like swing the bat standing up. But what I would do once I was in my wheelchair, but still had quite a bit of movement, I would scooch myself right to the edge of my wheelchair seat, and it kind of looked like a hunched over batter, right? And I would
Oh yeah.
have like somebody throw the ball, and I just whack the ball right with the bat and stuff.
Oh yeah. Right on.
Yeah, yeah, it was lots of fun. Like baseball was definitely my thing back then.
Dude, and the Jays are looking sharp again this year.
Yeah,
Fucking
they're looking really good. And so,
yeah.
speaking of dudes that were like awesome, influential, here's another dude. So, like, you worked for, I don't think it's called this anymore. Special Services at Home. I think it's called Extended Family now. You
Yeah, I
for
worked for Extended Family for 12 years.
Yeah. So back in the day, I think they were called Special Services at Home. So
Okay.
I used to get essentially the same thing. Like a
Okay.
dude in his mid 20s would come take me like
Do
swimming.
fun shit. Do fun
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
take me swimming, do stuff like that. But a lot of the times, I would just have him throw the ball so I could hit
Hit
it.
it.
And he actually played like minor league baseball. And
Okay.
we would talk baseball all the time. And he was such a good dude. And like even after he ended up like moving on, he would still come by once in a while and see how I was doing and stuff.
Right. Yeah, and that you know
Yeah,
that
so he was
my so speaking of good Christians, like I wouldn't consider myself a Christian, but I know some really good ones. Tim being one of them. But Brendan Solomon, my buddy who has Down syndrome, one of my best friends, his parents were actually
yeah,
from his mom's from Cape Breton as well. Also very very Catholic, very very religious, very very kind people.
yeah,
I went to visit him when I came back to Ontario and saw you. I went to visit Brendan as well. We went for lunch and I sat and we shot the shit with his folks for a little bit. And she
yeah,
said all she was praying for was one of his workers to keep in contact with him and not just disappear out of his life, right?
yeah,
And I have done that repeatedly. I've done it to hundreds of people because
yeah,
I've been involved closely with hundreds, maybe even thousands of
yeah.
people. So there is that blind. How does someone? Okay, let's talk about this. So what advice would you give to someone who became very emotionally attached to a worker that was maybe burnt out or disappeared or moved? Like, how do you deal with the what's the word I'm looking for? Vacancy, the abandonment issues. How do
Yeah,
you deal with that?
you just gotta understand that, like, you know, everything is for a season. Sometimes, right? Things are for a season, for a time. Like, this guy was in my life for a time, and then he wasn't. I've had other people, like, in my life for a time, and you just have to appreciate the time that they were there because you know, and don't take it personally that they're moving on to do other things with their life. Like this guy got married and moved on, and I think he moved out of province or something. Like it happens, right? People,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you moved out of province, right? Like
Yep, couple
it
times.
happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like it happens. You just gotta, you know, understand that like
Nature
it's
of the
not that
business, I guess.
it's not like they don't like you. It's just they're moving on to other things, right?
They got other things to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there has been a select few out of all the thousands of people that I've supported in various ways, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like you, Brendan, are the two out of everybody that I became friends with. Because I was a friendly. I'm a friendly guy. Basically, if they were
Yep.
friendly to me, then I'd be friendly to them. Whereas you speak like the guy Al,
Yeah.
not friendly, not friendly, but not friendly. Just
No.
like professional, uh, like
Yeah. Super
rational
professional.
rational detachment. I was just like
Exactly. And
I'm an
I
empath,
actually,
right? So I
yeah.
get involved. I don't mean to. Dude, it's just like I have this thing where I'm such an empathic person
Yeah.
that people just look in my eyes and tell me their whole life story. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So speaking of Al, I once asked him, "Hey Al, you want to get a drink sometime?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Josh, you want? I prefer to keep my work life and my personal life separate." Now that wasn't a criticism of me. That was just a choice that he's made. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, dude, I respect that. And that happened with
I did smoke a couple joints with him. He likes his joints.
well, there you go. Yeah. Wow, should I say this?
I don't know.
Yeah, he bought weed off me before.
Yeah, we're getting into the truth. The truth
Oh,
shall
baby.
set you free.
Yeah.
Hey, man, then that's it. Like, okay, let's talk about that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I always supported that because you make like next to nothing, for
Yeah.
everything that you got to pay for. Like, what is the how what advice can you give to people with disabilities to like make more money under the table? What's the best way to illegally screw the government a little bit and not like how do you not report your money without getting caught? Like, let's talk about embezzlement. Let's
Yeah,
talk
try and
about
keep it cash,
cash.
right? Cash, because they can have access to like your bank accounts and stuff like that.
Right.
So, yeah, it's got
So
to be
cash
cash.
business.
Yeah.
So what about like PayPal? Oh no, because that goes into your bank account.
Now, PayPal, like, it gets deposited into your bank account.
Right, right.
But I think if you could keep it in your PayPal and then just use the money in your PayPal, that might work.
Oh, okay. You can store
Um,
it in PayPal. Eh? Like my
maybe.
PayPal pays me
So,
automatically. I bet you can store it.
yeah. Yeah, like you can keep a balance in PayPal.
Yeah, you
Don't
can.
don't like hold me to it that the government won't find out about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But there's got, I mean, fuck, man, there's many ways to make cash, especially services. Like, I'm just wondering, like, how
yeah,
could you do online work for cash? You'd have to get them to mail you cash. That's a
yeah,
felony.
that's tough. I don't know.
Yeah. Why do they make it so fucking tough? Jesus. And that's it, man. And that's where I talk
Like
about
I had the hair and beard wax and oil and balm and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
made
yeah,
that
yeah.
in my kitchen, printed the
Oh, yeah.
labels, and
I still
then
got some. I still got some.
I had a guy selling it out of his barbershop, all cash.
Yeah, that's what we do. I remember that. Oh, yeah. How is that guy doing, the haircut guy? What's his name?
Yeah, he's doing real good. He was actually here on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, right on. Yeah, you look
Yeah,
pretty dapper. Did he give you a haircut?
nope, but
Just hanging out?
yeah, just hanging out. That's all
Is
it
he
was.
still is he still doing the barbershop?
Yeah, he's at the Walford Barbershop,
Fuck,
downtown
what a
Kitchener.
classy joint that is. That's perfect.
I know, right?
My in-laws went back to Ontario to take care of their mother's estate, who passed away last year, and
Yep.
they stayed at the Wal. I'm not sure how much the bill was, but they stayed at the Walper for like a month and a half or 2 months or something. Like I wonder what kind of bills that would have cost them. Jesus Christ! I've never been. There was that bar. What was that bar in the Walper called? Is it just called the Walper Inn?
The bar?
You probably never went up there because I think it's all fucking stairs. I'm not saying
Yeah,
an
it's called
elevator.
the Social, I think.
Oh yeah, the social. Is there
Yeah,
an
the
elevator in
Walford
there?
Social or something.
One time, I was at a bachelor party for my buddy Tim Beresford, and my buddy Nick Dembor, who's a really successful creator as well. His name's Smearballs with a Z, Smearballs. Anyway, we go into this bottom room in the Walper. It's like a private room, and there's a stage with a pole. So obviously, we're thinking there's going to be a stripper. So
Yeah.
we're like, oh, cool, you got a stripper for his birthday. That's kind of cute. And then it was like this 65-year-old haggard
No.
crackhead.
Friggin' saggy kid.
Oh yeah, and she was wild. She was wild. She was just doing. I didn't even want to talk about it online. She was doing some crazy. Like it wasn't just a stripper. She was like a full-on sex show. It was crazy. It was one of
Oh
the
my
weirdest
gosh.
things. One of the most uncomfortable moments of my life. But it was so
Yeah,
hilarious.
no
man.
shit.
So hilarious. So hilarious. Fuck. Nick Dembor. Check out Smearballs, man. He was actually on Conan. He used to work for Conan O'Brien.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, this guy. The one thing he had to say about Rob Ford, the old mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford.
Yeah.
He bought this non-residential zoned old mechanic shop, and
Yeah.
was going through the process of getting it rezoned into a residential zone. And there was something to do with the water supply that something had to be changed to make it proper or whatever it was. And he wrote a letter to Rob Ford, and shortly later he got a handwritten letter from Rob Ford saying how it's so cool what he's doing. This is what Toronto's all about. Like, right on, Toronto locals, making it work. He was so supportive and got it passed right away. What do you think about? I don't know much about. I follow American politics more than I follow Canadian politics. What do you think about how Doug Ford has done with COVID and everything? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I don't know. I don't think politicians base COVID response off of science. I think they do it off of what they think is going to be politically popular.
Right.
It's all about getting reelected.
Yeah.
It's not about protecting public safety
Yeah,
and stuff
pure
like
propaganda.
that.
Pure propaganda. Everything. Everything they do.
It's all about getting
Optics.
reelected.
Optics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think because when I went back to Ontario, dude, I gotta say, I'm triple vaxxed. I'm fully pro-vaccine.
Yeah.
YouTube, don't censor this. I'm triple vaccinated.
Yeah, I'm
Fuck,
triple
I'll
vaxxed.
probably even get the fourth one because I just don't give a shit. Right? I'm not scared of it. But I don't like mandates. I don't like being told what to do. So I don't want anybody telling anybody what. This is a free country. We do what we want. Now, what I notice about BC is fucking COVID is over, man. It's a thing of the past, and if you're wearing a mask, you're not looked down upon, and you don't look down upon people who aren't. It's just we're all getting along. Mask people talking to non-mask people. Everything's fine. It's cohesive. But what I found when I went back to Ontario, me and Emily went into Value Village, and it was packed. And there was 3 people out of 80 not wearing a mask. I'm like, holy shit! I thought we didn't have to wear masks anymore. Are we supposed to be wearing a mask? And I'm freaking out.
Yeah,
And I'm
everyone's
triple
still
vaxxed.
wearing masks.
Yeah, and just like why is it just the amount of people that are out there? Is it the community? Why do you think that Ontario
I don't
was
know.
it because the cases were worse?
Because people
But
have been brainwashed into
brainwashed.
thinking
Yes, I was saying it seemed like
everyone's
people
going to
were
get
fucking
COVID.
zombies. Yeah,
Everyone's
I've
going to get
already got it.
COVID, and everyone's going to die. That's what they think.
Yeah, no kidding. It's crazy.
So I'm on Twitter, and so I've seen people on. So I follow mostly Blue
I
Jay
just got
stuff. Like,
I just started using my Twitter again since Elon Musk bought it. I think that's interesting as hell.
yeah, it's
Interesting
going to
as
be
hell.
great. We should talk about that more too. But
We'll
so
talk
I
about
follow
that
Blue
next. We'll
Jay.
talk about that next week. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, sure. Well, so on Twitter, I'm seeing all these people talk about how, oh, I don't care if I'm the only one. You know, when I go to the Jays game, I'm wearing a mask. Don't judge me. Guess what? The Sky Dome is 80% masked up. Like, why do you think you're the only one masking up? Like, you think you're unique and you're not. You're really just the same as every other NPC out there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just at the point where I don't care. Like, if you want to wear a mask, that's cool, but don't give me shit
Yeah,
because I'm over it. Don't give me shit because I'm
no,
over it. I'm over it. I'm over it.
100%.
My dad. I went to fucking Ontario. I didn't wear a mask anywhere. I went to bars. I went to stores. I went out with friends. I gave people hugs. I gave people
Yeah,
handshakes that I hadn't seen in a long time. And I got back to BC. I tested negative for COVID. So did both my parents. It's like, well, fuck, man. If we can do it, then why not risk it? I just had a great time. I saw you. I had heart to
yeah,
hearts with some of my best friends and my dad and my family.
yeah.
And I did it without getting COVID. So what's the big fucking deal? You can't live in fear, man. You got to
I
get
don't,
back to
I
normal.
don't, I don't understand the fear. I don't ask my staff to wear masks.
And if
Um,
anybody that you think that they think should be in fear, it's you. You
yeah,
know,
right. But I don't live in fear.
because I'm not afraid of dying. I think that's really what it is. People are just
No,
afraid of dying.
yeah.
And I think, man,
I've
because you
come
have a
to the realize.
profound, because I have a near-death experience, you have a profound disability. I think we have a different flavor
Yeah,
for the essence of life than
yeah,
those people. And a lot of these people that are brainwashed in zombies walking around town like they're gonna die, I think that they haven't experienced anything
yeah.
very, very worthy and worthwhile in their life. Like it's
Well,
just a drone-ish life of the same old stuff happening every day with no really like creative thought. Or I mean, I think it's like a lack of creativity, to be honest. Like creative thinking, I think it's lacking in
yeah.
society these days.
I've heard of children in schools. They're now being told to take off their mask. You don't have to wear your mask, and they're crying because they
Because they
think they're
want
gonna
it.
die.
Right? Oh my god.
Like we've now put the fear of death
Into
into
children,
8 year olds. Good
and
job.
they were never at risk of anything.
No, not really. No,
No, I mean maybe some
not
kids
unless you
who
have a
were.
pre-existing condition.
Yeah, and how about that? How they realized that so many of the reported COVID deaths were all comorbidities. Like half of them, they said
Yes.
it was like half.
Oh,
Like half
it's
of the deaths changes everything. Like that.
dude.
That's where
No,
the
no.
line
If you
began.
add comorbidities, obesity, and 65 plus, it's over 90%.
Yeah, of course, of course. So yeah, mask
Yeah,
up.
that's who's dying.
If you're in that situation, you better fucking lock yourself up at home and get your grandkids to drop off
Yeah,
groceries outside the door. That's your responsibility to take care of your own
yeah,
ass, not mine.
yeah.
Not mine. It's not, yes,
No, I agree.
maybe for the first 6 months, but once the economy starts falling, it's like the young people have to make this have to keep the wheels turning. Like we have to
Well,
keep
the
this moving.
economy's like not going to heal for years and years and years. And here's, dude, I've been talking to parents with young children. Their children are not learning how to speak because they're not seeing their teachers' mouths. They're not seeing their classmates'
Yeah,
mouths.
yeah. So,
They're
so much
not
trouble
learning
getting
how to
out.
speak properly.
That's insane.
So, like,
Thank God it's over because my son starts school in September. Thank God this
yeah,
mask shit is over. Because honestly, dude, if my kid was gonna have to get a mask in school when he's 5, I was like, I think I'm gonna homeschool him. And I don't want to
yeah,
homeschool him. I want the break. I want the social interaction. I want
yeah,
the human. I want the human nature of school, like being around other kids, playing, wrestling,
yeah.
yelling, spitting, slapping, crazy partying.
Yes,
That's all part of being a kid, And I
yeah,
want my kid to have the same kind of upbringing that I had in the '80s, like where there was no rules about anything, really.
yeah.
You know. So I don't know, man. But that, I'm just glad. I'm glad it's over. I was glad I was able to come see you. Fuck, man.
Yeah, me too, man.
This is a fantastic idea that we're coming up with, because me and
Yeah,
you can literally shoot the shit for an hour a week. We could do it for 6
yeah,
hours a week.
so easily.
So an hour a week will be like action packed content. Like, this is
Yeah.
good, dude. We got lots of conversations to clip up. I'm gonna watch this
Oh,
tonight
and
and
all
clip
we're
this up.
doing is like scratching the surface on some of these things too, right?
Yes. Well,
Like we could,
I figured this would almost be like a thesis. That's
yeah,
why I wanted. I almost feel like even the last 10 minutes here that we spend, it's almost like we're telling your story, you know,
yeah,
we're writing an essay, and we need to expose characters that we'll refer to,
right.
and methods of funding and stuff we've done in the past, because there's going to be all these, like, it's going to build and build and build and build, right? And I think that the more we kind of expose who we are, and what we are in an honest fashion, the more we're going to be able to tell your story efficiently.
Yeah, man. I'm
So,
I'm really looking forward to it.
what about your sister and her husband? How are they doing?
They're doing good. They got, dude. And here's what's crazy, dude. They got COVID again.
Oh,
So
again, they've
they
had it
both got
twice.
COVID second time,
Are they
and
vaccinated?
they're triple vaxxed.
Yeah, of course, dude. Of course.
They're triple vaxxed, and they
Are
got
you
the COVID.
vaccinated? I've never even asked you if you're
Yeah,
vaccinated.
I'm triple vaxxed.
Yeah, I'm triple vax too.
I'm triple
I think I've
vaxxed.
had I
They're
think I've had COVID, but it was not bad. I mean,
like,
not bad.
dude,
I had
like,
Delta. I had Delta in January 2020. It was pretty bad,
ooh,
but
nasty.
not like I was gonna fucking die. You know, I was
But
just
it
had
was
a bad
nasty.
throat cold. It was nasty. I lost my sense of taste and smell for about 2 weeks. I was
Right.
actually, this is how I found out I had it. I had a chest cold. I didn't heard about COVID yet. I didn't realize this till about a month after, when COVID came out. It was January 2020. I had a bad chest cold, and this is the metaphor that I want to state here. I had a bad chest cold. I had a mild fever, but it wasn't
Yeah.
so bad that I called in sick for work. Right? Like, I was still willing to go to work. And
Yeah.
that's how it used to be. If you're not too sick, you go to work. It's not really about
Yeah.
spreading your virus. It's about, are you able to perform the job properly? And I was like, yes, I can. So I went to work, and I was making, and part of my job working at the detox facility is cooking dinners for the clients. And I was making a spaghetti sauce, and I kept on tasting. I make a mean spaghetti sauce. I kept on tasting. I'm like, oh, it needs more salt. Needs more salt. And I kept on eating salt. I'm like, it seems like I put a lot of salt in that. I'm not sure what's going on. And so I served it, and everybody's like, oh, this is so salty. And I put a big spoonful of it in. I put a sugar cube on my tongue. I put salt on my tongue. I'm like, I can't taste or smell anything. And then a month later, COVID comes out, and that's like one of the primary symptoms. And so
Right.
it was bad. Like, Delta was bad, but it wasn't like, I'm gonna die, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It wasn't like that. And
Right.
I'm 5'9", 240, smoking, drinking. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not exactly the healthiest fucking guy, and I don't ever plan on. I'm not like trying to be the best at exercising. It's like not really my thing. So but I didn't get that sick. I didn't die. So I mean, if I can get through it, and I'm almost 40 years old,
Yeah.
people under my age in better shape than me should not be worried whatsoever.
Yeah. No, not for the most part. Like, I mean, there's going to be some outliers, but I mean, there are healthy people that do die of the flu,
Yeah.
right? It just happens from time to
People
time,
die.
right?
People die, and I think that's what we're doing by doing
Yeah.
this podcast. Is it's got to be a lesson in facing
To live your
mortality,
life.
living your life free, and have a soul, and be a human,
Yeah.
and just like live your life free. I think that's what. If there's anything I can tell from having such a horrific near-death experience as I have, and for you, which having such a profound physical disability, I think we can
Yeah.
help spread the word on people how to just like get along. Because let's face it, we're not exact. I have lots of liberal friends. I have lots of conservative friends. I'm somewhere a hybrid between the two of them. I found a way in life to get along with everybody despite what they
Yeah.
think about certain things. Because you know what? A lot of times, Josh, you just got to be the smarter person, and realize
Yeah.
that there are trigger points with everybody. And if you're just triggering people on purpose, you're being worse than they are. So
Yes.
don't trigger people on purpose. If you have the mind's eye to realize that you're going to upset somebody and insult them, then don't fucking do it. Be a good person. Try and
Yeah.
be a good person. And I think we can teach people that. I think we can.
Yeah, brother. Sounds right to me.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about next week? What should we get into? Just shoot the shit and see what happens?
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see if anything crazy comes up in the next week,
Yeah,
something that comes
it's
like
a good chance for us to really stay up to date too and be better
yeah,
friends. I think that's worth it.
yeah,
Because
exactly. Because like
I miss these conversations, man. Like I really do. It's good.
yeah, for sure. Like the couple times I've been like on your podcast, we talk about for certain things, whether it's the Owl Creek or whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, we had things to certain agendas. Now our agenda is just to talk, right?
just to
It's just
talk and have podcasts,
yeah,
dude. Straight up podcasts.
exactly. And every week, like in our visit the other week, it got pretty emotional. We
Hmm.
hugged it out. It was like
Yeah,
such a
we were crying.
it
Yeah,
made it made me realize that, like, dude, like I gotta talk to you more, right?
yeah,
So
no
that's why,
doubt.
like, as soon as as soon as I figured you were home, I texted you, and I
Yeah,
was like, dude, we got to do this.
we got to do it. And I think
Yeah,
this is a good thing to promote too for all because we're getting old, man. Like we've lot of friends have moved on, and to if you know somebody who's going through something, or even if they're not, even if they just touched you in any way in your life, in any way, like reach out to them
yeah,
and maintain that conversation. I think we're lucky
yeah,
enough that we were clever enough to come up with this plan before it was too late. And
yeah,
I would have hated to live with the regret. Like, let's say I came out here and you died, and I didn't get to see you last week, and we
yeah,
didn't come up with this idea. I would regret that for the rest of my life, and I don't want to have
yeah.
that.
It felt like something would be left undone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is the pinnacle, dude. This is the climax. This is gonna be the best years of your life doing this shit
Yeah,
because it's gonna be a chance to be brutally honest. And you know me,
yeah.
I don't censor myself. I say what I think. I'm a man of
No,
my
I'm the
word.
same way.
And
Yeah.
I think I think this is gonna be good. I think it's a good way to
What can you do to me at What can you do to me at this point? Like,
yeah.
put me like if I admit to a crime, even what are you gonna
You're
do?
gonna
Put me
yeah
under house arrest? Like, good fucking
yeah
job.
yeah no kidding. Take me
I'm
to jail,
already
or
under house arrest.
yeah, you can take me to jail, but I'm gonna need a PSW
Yeah,
3 times a day. I'm gonna need an electronic bed.
yeah,
I'm gonna need a TV. I'm gonna need all this safety equipment. You know, not gonna happen.
yeah,
You could honestly do. You're in a situation where you could really fucking break the law at your age. You should do
yeah,
something
dude.
like crazy, like really break the law somehow. Just see what happens. You
Thinking
can't take
about
what
it.
you're funding. Like I don't know if you learn, you should become a hacker. I think that's what you should do. Have you ever watched?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
by the way, fuck! I was gonna tell you about a new sponsor approached me, and my father-in-law, who's a computer science guy,
Yeah.
scanned the email, made sure it was legit, checked out the
Yeah.
company. It's this NFT company called Alpaca Dabras. It's all these weird little funny alpacas doing weird different shit,
Okay. Yeah.
and they want to give me $1,700 for a 35-second promo commercial, I believe for only one video, but I'm gonna put it on multiple videos and try and develop some kind, because I figure this is my in into crypto. They could pay me in crypto. I'm not gonna get paid in crypto. I don't know about crypto, but I'm gonna get paid in US dollars. So that's like $2,000 for a fucking 35-second commercial. And this is what
Dude,
happens.
that's
This
all
is what
right,
happens
man.
when you hit 10,000 subscribers. You get put in some huge directory with all these businesses can add. And now I'm certain it's
Wow.
another one came up. Another one came up the other day. So I asked, "Oh, what was it about?" It was another one came in today actually. It was so there's a crypto company, and then there is
That's awesome,
um,
man.
info.fx. He says, hello, I'm the manager of FX Home. Our company develops software for video editing as well as photos. We are interested in your YouTube channel and would like to collaborate with you. If you want to promote our product, reply to this message and we'll send you our terms. So I said, just like, tell me what you're thinking. You know, so now all these sponsors are starting to reach out to me and
It
shit.
can't hurt to listen, right?
I'm not. I'll entertain anything. And
Yeah.
and with this McAfee security software, anything they send me, I can scan for viruses. Right. So I know what's going to be safe and what's not
Yeah.
going to be safe.
That's
You know.
awesome.
So it's pretty sweet, dude. All right, so let's end it there and encourage people, if you watch this in the future. This isn't my normal time of day. This is a weird time where my subscribers didn't even expect me to be on.
Yeah.
But we're going to be doing this every week at 6 p.m. Eastern or Western, which is 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Josh, always a great talk. I have
On
to
your
watch this
on
again.
your YouTube channel,
Yeah.
we're going
And then-
live at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna post it on my YouTube channel tomorrow at noon.
Perfect.
And my YouTube channel is my name on the screen right there, Josh One Day.
Josh One Day. Everybody go follow Josh One Day on YouTube. He's going to be uploading clips. We're going to make this. We're going to break down this content and Gary V the shit out of it. All right, Josh. Thanks, man. We'll end this broadcast now, and we'll talk to everybody next week. Peace out.
All right, peace out.